Welcome to the Shenandoahs. We're getting more views now. Well, can't quite see, but I entered the Shenandoahs yesterday after heading out of Waynesboro, and I just did like 9 miles. I got caught in a little vortex. Waynesboro was fun. I linked up with some hikers that I've been seeing kind of back and forth, and we made dinner and breakfast at Sanimals Hostel. So they had a full kitchen and everything. So I hope you can hear me. The wind is a little bit intense right now. But yeah, so I got caught in a little vortex there, but I'm back on trail and I'm excited for the Shenandoahs. It's supposed to be a little bit easier hiking. The I don't know if you can see, terrain isn't as rocky so far, at least. And it's supposed to be more rolling hills versus the last couple stretches have had big climbs. And like I said, Virginia is not flat. So like everybody kind of claims. So I'm looking forward to easier hiking. And along this, the AT goes along Skyline Drive. So that's kind of similar to Blue Ridge Parkway, which is kind of where the AT was skirting on the last couple stretches. So now we're on to Skyline Parkway, and that means there's a lot of access to food. So resupply and burgers, and they're known for their blackberry milkshakes. So I'm really excited. I think even tonight for dinner, I plan to go to a spot that has a blackberry shake offering and burgers. Here's Skyline Drive. And there's a viewpoint. So in Waynesboro, I also swapped out my shoes. So I got the same ones, the Topos. They're the Ultra Venture 3s, and I was really impressed with them. My previous pair lasted for 800 miles, and they looked really good. Usually my trail runners get a bunch of rips, and they're like barely usable by the end, but these were. And I've pushed some other shoes past 800, and they looked awful. So these were pretty close. I think they're pretty close to 800. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the Topos for this terrain. I like to do a little shoe reviews because I was still kind of figuring out what shoes really worked, had longevity and worked for my feet. I usually go with the Brooks Cascadias, and those are fine. But these for the terrain really work. So I highly recommend these shoes. They're also wide. I have wide feet, so they're good for wide feet. So yeah, excited for, they're feeling really good. Breaking in my new pair. Okay, to the top of Black Rock. I'm going up there. Good morning from the Shenandoahs, or the Shinnies. That's what people around here call them, I think. So last night camped kind of at a high point. It's really pretty sunset through the trees. And it was nice yesterday too, because I had a little pit stop into a wayside that had something called a smash burger that usually the hikers get, and then blackberry shake and onion rings. So we don't have any pit stops today, but tomorrow there's a place called Big Meadow Lodge that's supposed to have good food. So I think I'm going to try to stop in there for like an early lunch. And for whatever reason, one of my battery packs or charging devices, Nightcore is the brand, didn't charge in town for some reason. So luckily I have two, but I'll have to charge that while I'm eating tomorrow, I think. So the stretch is nice because there's a lot of places to get stuff to eat and resupply and charge and that sort of thing. And as you can see, the terrain here is really nice too. Pretty easy hiking. So the plan is to do 22 miles each day, and then I'll be getting into Front Royal. And from now, it'll be on day 4. Total stretch would be 5.5 days. Look at this dew. So headed to Big Meadows Wayside today. We're going to lodge just because I think it's going to be a little more expensive to eat there, and it's also the hours are kind of weird. So by the time I get there, they won't be open in that window. So I'm going to go to the Wayside instead. And of course, probably get a burger and all that. Something I've noticed on trail, I rolled into the shelter last night, and a lot of the AT hikers that remain on the trail are starting early, like earlier than me now, and finishing up late. So I rolled in with like 5 other hikers at, I think around like 8 or 8:30 last night. So interesting to see the change in habits, or just like the people on trail right now are early risers and are late getting into the shelters. I think just approaching Harper's Ferry and that sort of thing is getting people to think about timing and all that. So yeah, interesting to see the changes. Raining.
Like a LED or form. But they're either like green or like tan or very limited color.
went up to Mary's Rock today. It's a big tourist attraction apparently, but I'm hitting it right in the morning, so it's also a Saturday, so it's probably a good thing. Also hit the Pinnacles last night. Beautiful view, but the smoke rolled in, I think from the Canadian fires in the afternoon yesterday. So the views aren't, I think today too, the views aren't going to be maybe what they normally are, but that's okay. Also going to hit, I think it's the last wayside of the Shenandoahs for AT hikers, Elk Wallow wayside. Apparently they have the best burger, so we'll see about that. Looks like I have Mary's Rock all to myself. Still a little smoky out here and windy. And there is Skyline Drive. Here I am in camp. Just on the side of the trail. But I wanted to give a shout out to my friends Bubbles and Pinecone. They're working on an endeavor called Trailside Kitchen. And you can see this is the bacon jalapeno mac and cheese. They sent me 4 of them. So I hiked the first part of this trail with Pinecone, and he and his wife are starting this company, and so they sent me some, and it's so good. So this is something to keep your eyes on if you're into amazing trail food. I love this because first of all, it tastes good. It tastes amazing. It's probably the best backpacker meal that I've ever had. You can cook it right in the package, and it only takes 10 minutes with boiling water. So it's awesome, it's fast, and it's made with really good ingredients. So anyway, I just wanted to give them a shout out. So thank you guys for giving me my dinners for this stretch. And if you guys want to follow along with them, they're on Instagram, and it's at Bubbles and Pinecone. Took out my hair, but while my meal is soaking, I wanted to talk about kind of overall the stretch. I'm going to be going into Front Royal tomorrow, and so the Shenandoahs span from Waynesboro to Front Royal. So I did it all in one stretch. It's just over 100 miles, and it's been beautiful, nice views, a little smoky, and a little crowded. It's Saturday today, so I saw a lot of day hikers, talked to a lot of day hikers. They had a lot of questions. So that was kind of fun, but also kind of crowded at the shelters and that sort of thing. So I am stealth camping tonight. There wasn't really mileage-wise a shelter where I wanted to stop to set me up to get into Waynesboro tomorrow, Front Royal tomorrow. I'm gonna have about 9.8 miles to get in, and then I'm just gonna do a quick in and out, resupply, get some food, and then head on over to Harper's Ferry, which is kind of the unofficial halfway point. Just a little beyond that is the actual halfway point where there's the half-gallon challenge where hikers eat a half-gallon of ice cream, or they try to. We'll see if I can do that. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quicker in and out at Front Royal, so then I could make it to the halfway point pretty soon. And that's a quicker stretch. It's about, I think, 58 miles or something. So I'll do that in like a little over 2 days. So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, the Shenandoahs have been great. It's been nice to have lunch every day at a wayside. And I've been kind of going back and forth across Skyline Drive multiple times a day. So it doesn't seem like I'm really out in the wilderness here, just because there's so much human contact and I'm crossing the road a lot and everything, but it was just beautiful. Nice hiking. You can see the trails kind of, well, maybe not, right beside me here. Very nicely graded trail, not too many like rocks and roots and that sort of thing. So the Shenandoahs have been nice. It has not been as flat as I thought. My body's kind of hurting a bit. I've been doing just like 22-ish miles a day, so definitely not my highest mileage on this trail, and my body's definitely feeling it. So maybe it's because I'm near the halfway point, I'm not sure. But yeah, the Shenandoahs have been great, and highly recommend coming here. Even if you're in a car, there's a lot of people joyriding and lots of points to pull out, lots of great food. The burgers are wonderful. Blackberry shakes are great. So yeah, I've had a good time in the Shenandoahs, and that ends tomorrow. And then I'll have my sights set on the halfway point near Harper's Ferry. All right, it's ready. Look at that. It's so good and creamy, and it tastes really fresh. The cheese is insane, and the jalapenos are, they taste like they're fresh. They're crunchy but soft at the same time. They're so incredible.